Don't look, they warned, but the humans stared, and did the one thing they feared. Humans had only just begun exploring this sector, and the station was home to more alien species than Alex could count. Most of them were tall, with long limbs and eyes that reflected light like crystals. Some had scales, some had soft skin that shimmered in colors that changed with their moods. Alex was a human engineer, sent to keep the station's systems running. He liked working with machines, numbers, and predictable problems. Aliens were harder to understand, and he had learned to speak carefully, always watching how they moved and reacted. The station had a strange rule. It had been in place for as long as the station existed, long before Alex arrived. Nobody ever explained it fully. The rule was simple: never look at the relic. All the aliens called it the Awakener, though no human knew why. It sat in the middle of the station's observation deck, a black object floating inside a glass chamber. Its surface was smooth but seemed alive, rippling slightly as if something moved just beneath the surface. Lights from the chamber reflected off the walls and ceiling, casting strange patterns. Whenever Alex passed by, he could feel the tension in the air. The aliens' behavior was different. They walked around it quickly, avoided eye contact, and sometimes whispered in fear. Lily Adams worked on the station too. She was a linguist, studying alien languages and cultures. She was fascinated by the Awakener, but also scared. She had watched alien scientists and diplomats react to it for months. Fear was always there under the surface, and no one would talk openly about it. "Don't look," the aliens said. "It is not meant for you." The words were simple, but their meaning was heavy, full of warnings that humans could barely understand. Alex, however, had the opposite reaction. Curiosity burned inside him. He wanted to know why it scared them so much. Why no one had ever explained what it really was. One morning, the station shuddered. Alarms went off in every corridor. Alex was in the engineering bay, checking a reactor panel when the lights flickered and the humming of the station grew louder. The aliens were moving faster than usual. Some ran past him, shouting in languages he could not understand. Lily appeared behind him, her face pale. "Alex," she said, her voice trembling, "the Awakener, it's active." Alex's heart beat faster, but he did not panic. He grabbed a portable communicator and tried to reach the station commander. "Ben Cole, this is Alex. What's happening with the Awakener?" Static filled the device. Finally, a voice came through. "Alex, stay away from it. Do not look. Get back to your station now." The warnings only made Alex more determined. He had learned one rule about humans during his studies of history: fear often hides truth, and he wanted to know the truth. He ran down the hallway, past alien guards, past labs where scientists were trying to shut down systems, toward the observation deck. Lily followed him, calling his name. "Alex, you should," she shouted, but Alex ignored her. When he reached the chamber, the Awakener was glowing faintly. Its black surface shimmered with colors he could not name. Alex could feel it pulsing, almost like a heartbeat. The aliens around the room were frozen, staring at it with wide eyes, but none of them looked directly. Alex stopped a few meters from the glass, catching his breath. He could hear the aliens whispering, their voices a mix of fear and awe. "Don't look," one alien said softly in their language. "You will not survive." Alex did not move. He could not move. The object called to him, not with words but with a presence, a weight that made him feel both small and important at the same time. He raised his eyes slowly and stared. Lily grabbed his arm. "Alex, please, it's dangerous." He shook his head gently. "I have to know," he said. "I can't just turn away." For a moment the room held its breath. The aliens seemed to lean back, some stepping away as if they expected him to vanish, to die instantly. Alex felt warmth spreading from the Awakener, a strange sensation that went deeper than skin and bone. He felt memories, feelings, and visions flashing inside his mind. It was not painful, not exactly, but intense. Images of Earth appeared before him: crowded cities, deserts, oceans, forests. Humans surviving storms, fires, wars, and mistakes. Then he saw the first humans in space, their faces full of hope and fear. Alex realized the Awakener was showing him history, not of just humans, but of something older, something connected to every living being in the galaxy. Grace Miller, the station's medical officer, watched in shock. She had expected Alex to collapse, to scream, to be consumed. But he did not. Instead, he stood perfectly still, eyes fixed, breathing steady. One alien finally spoke, its voice shaking. How is he still?" The Awakener pulsed again. The images changed. Now Alex saw other planets, alien civilizations, battles fought long ago. He felt the fear and the pain of beings he did not know yet understood instantly. He realized that this object was not trying to hurt him. It was testing him. "He is human," another alien said in awe. "They see fear and turn away. He does not." Alex felt something inside him stir. He felt understanding, empathy, and a strange calm. He knew he had a choice. He could look away like every other being before him, or he could stay, face the unknown fully. His mind, heart, and instincts all agreed he would not turn away. Lily's hand tightened on his shoulder, her fingers trembling. "Alex, it's too much." Alex smiled faintly. "I can handle it," he said softly. "I have to." For hours or maybe minutes time felt strange. He stayed staring at the Awakener. It seemed to recognize him, to respond to his courage. Lights shifted, patterns formed on its surface, as if it was alive in ways that defied logic. The aliens around him whispered, some falling to their knees, some covering their eyes, unable to believe what they were witnessing. Finally, the glowing slowed. The pulsing became steady, almost like a heartbeat at peace. Alex blinked and looked around. The aliens were silent, waiting for something to happen. He turned to Lily. "It's okay now," he said. "I think it's done testing me." Lily shook her head, tears in her eyes. "Alex, they said no one survives that." Alex laughed softly, a sound that was almost disbelief. "Maybe they were wrong," he said. Ben Cole's voice came over the communicator. "Alex, report, are you alive?" "Yes," Alex said. "I'm fine, but you need to see this." The aliens around him still stared at the Awakener with fear, but their expressions had changed. There was something new, respect. They realized that humans were different, that Alex was different. He had done the one thing they feared most. He had faced the Awakener without fear, without hesitation, without turning away. Alex did not feel special. He only felt human. He felt curiosity, courage, and a strange connection to the universe. He did not know what the Awakener truly was, or why it had chosen to reveal itself to him. But he knew one thing: humans were not like the other races here. Humans faced fear and looked it straight in the eye. The aliens whispered among themselves, some still trembling, some bowing their heads in awe. Alex stepped back from the glass, breathing normally now, his hands relaxed. Lily looked at him, a mixture of relief and wonder on her face. We should report this," she said finally. "The council, they need to know," Alex nodded. "They will understand soon enough. We have something they do not expect." As he walked away from the observation deck, he glanced back at the Awakener. It was still glowing faintly, almost as if it were alive and watching him. He smiled quietly, feeling a new understanding forming inside him. Humans survived because they dared to face the unknown. Humans survived because they looked when everyone else turned away. For the first time, Alex felt that humans were not just visitors in the galaxy. They were participants, they were learners, and maybe, just maybe, they were meant to lead. The station continued to hum, the alarms fading, the aliens slowly returning to their work. But nothing would be the same again. Somewhere deep inside the Awakener, something had changed. It had seen Alex, a human, and it had accepted him. And in that acceptance, the galaxy had begun to notice a new truth. Humans were not afraid to stare at what others feared most. Alex turned back to Lily, who was still pale but smiling. "We need to learn more," he said. "We need to understand," she nodded. "Yes, Alex, but be careful. Not everything that watches will be as kind as this." Alex laughed softly. "I know, but at least now we know we can face it." And with that, he walked away from the chamber, ready to face whatever came next. The human had stared. The human had endured. And the galaxy had taken notice. After what happened at the observation deck, the station felt different. Even the hum of the engines seemed quieter, as if it was holding its breath. Alex Turner walked through the hallways, trying to process what had just occurred. The Awakener had not harmed him. More than that, it had acknowledged him. The thought made him shiver, not from fear, but from amazement. Lily Adams walked beside him, her hand brushing his arm occasionally. She was still pale, her eyes wide with disbelief. "Alex, I don't understand," she said. It should have destroyed you. Everyone said it kills those who look at it." Alex shook his head slowly. "Maybe it doesn't test in the way we thought," he said. "I think it was judging me, judging humans." Grace Miller, the station's medical officer, joined them. She was a tall woman with a calm voice that rarely trembled, but today she looked shaken. "Judging humans?" she asked. "What do you mean?" Alex tried to explain. I don't know everything yet, but it showed me things, images, memories, feelings of humans and other races. It was testing not my strength, but my choice. I didn't look away. Lily frowned. So it respected you because you didn't give in to fear? Alex nodded. Yes, that's what I think. Word spread quickly through the station. Aliens gathered in small groups, whispering and glancing at Alex as if he were no longer just a human engineer. Ben Cole, the station commander, called an emergency meeting. The council of alien leaders arrived from different ships docked at the station. They were tall, imposing, and their skin reflected light in shades of gold, blue, and green. They were used to being in control, to commanding fear and respect, but now they were uncertain. Alex and Lily entered the council chamber. The room was massive, with high ceilings and glowing panels along the walls. The Awakener's influence had not reached here, but everyone felt the tension. Alex tried to stay calm. He had always believed humans could handle fear, but he had not expected this level of scrutiny. "Human Alex Turner," a golden-skinned alien said, its voice like metal scraping. "You have faced the Awakener. You have done what no other species has done. Explain yourself." Alex took a deep breath. He had not planned on speaking to the council, but he knew he could not remain silent. "I did not do anything special," he said. "I looked at it because I wanted to understand. I faced it because turning away does not help anyone. Humans have always faced danger, even when it was frightening. That is how we survive." The council murmured among themselves. One of the elders, a blue-skinned alien with long fingers, spoke. "It is not only courage we test for, it is intent. Most species fail because they let fear control them. You did not." Alex felt a strange warmth in his chest. The aliens were speaking honestly, not with fear or authority, but with recognition. Lily squeezed his hand, proud and amazed. "You don't understand," Alex said. "Humans, we survive by facing the unknown, even when it scares us. That is what the Awakener saw." An elder with green, shimmering skin stepped forward. "So humans are different. They do not turn away from what they fear." Alex nodded again. "We don't always succeed. We make mistakes. We have lost many times, but we look and we try again. That is what makes us human." The council was silent for a moment. Then one of the golden-skinned elders spoke. "Your presence here changes things. The Awakener will not respond to us as it did to you. It has chosen a new direction." Grace looked at Alex, confused. "A new direction? What do you mean?" The elder's long fingers waved toward the observation deck. "It has revealed knowledge. Knowledge that was forbidden until a species could face it without fear. Humans are now recognized. The galaxy may no longer hide from you." Alex's mind raced. The station had secrets, maps, and paths to places humans had never visited. Suddenly, it seemed like these secrets were becoming accessible. He realized the Awakener was not just a test. It was a gate, a key to something bigger. Lily spoke softly. "Alex, does this mean humans are special?" Alex hesitated. "I don't know if special is the right word, different maybe. Humans face fear differently. That is all the Awakener needed to see." The council began to ask questions. They wanted to know why humans were capable of this. They wanted to know if Alex could survive another encounter. Some of the aliens were angry. They had followed rules for centuries, avoiding the Awakener, and now one human had bypassed everything. Some whispered that humans were dangerous. Others whispered that humans were needed. Ben Cole stepped forward. "Alex, can you teach us? Can you show the others how to survive this encounter?" Alex shook his head. "I don't think anyone can." The Awakener tests intent, not strength. It judges each being individually. But humans have a perspective. We don't hide from fear. We look at it. Maybe that is enough to guide others. Amy Collins, the station's systems analyst, spoke up. She had been studying the technical systems linked to the Awakener. "Sir, the readings are unusual. Alex's presence changes the energy flow, the signals. It's as if the Awakener responds to him specifically. We might learn navigation patterns and safe paths in the nebula that were hidden before." The council's eyes widened. "Safe paths?" one elder asked. "Through areas that are deadly?" Amy nodded. "Yes, but only when Alex is here. It is as if the Awakener trusts him. It allows him to see what others cannot." Grace turned to Alex. "This is incredible. You're opening doors that were closed for centuries." Alex shook his head. "I didn't do it on purpose. I just looked. I stayed calm. The rest is the Awakener." The council discussed for hours. They debated whether humans could be allowed to explore more, whether the station should change rules, whether the Awakener should be studied more. The consensus was clear. Humans were now part of the station's plans in a new way. They were no longer the species that had to be warned. They were the species that could lead, that could face what others could not. Lily and Alex returned to the observation deck later, alone this time. The Awakener floated silently, its surface calm, no longer pulsing violently. Alex approached it slowly, keeping a safe distance. He did not feel fear anymore. He felt connection, curiosity, understanding. "Do you think it remembers me?" Lily asked. Alex nodded. "I think it does. It recognizes humans now, not just me but us. It might be communicating in a way we cannot see yet." Suddenly, the chamber lights shifted again, patterns forming on the black surface of the Awakener. It was subtle, but Alex noticed. He stepped closer, feeling the same pulse he had felt before. The images were not as vivid, but he sensed understanding. It was as if the Awakener was acknowledging him, and through him, the humans. "It's like it trusts us," Alex said. "Like it wants us to keep going." Lily nodded, but her eyes were serious. "Alex, we have to be careful. Other races might not understand this. They might see humans as a threat now." Alex understood. Humans were different, yes, but that difference could bring envy, fear, and conflict. The galaxy was vast, and not every being would welcome humans stepping forward. He felt a responsibility settle on his shoulders. It was not just curiosity or survival anymore. It was guidance. Humans had survived by facing fear, and now they might have to guide others. He looked at Lily. "We need to learn from it, understand it. The Awakener is more than a test, it's a teacher." She shivered slightly. "I hope it doesn't test us the hard way next time." Alex smiled faintly. "We'll be ready. Humans always find a way." As they left the chamber, the aliens in the station no longer stared with fear. Some watched with respect, others with curiosity. Whispers followed them through the halls. The council had already begun to plan. Humans were no longer just visitors. They were participants, observers, and perhaps even guides. That night, Alex could not sleep. He wandered through the station corridors, looking at the stars through the observation windows. The Kairos Nebula stretched across space like a living painting, colors shifting, storms moving like rivers of light. He thought about the Awakener, about the trust it had shown him, and about the responsibility now on humans. Lily joined him after a while, sitting quietly beside him. "Alex, do you think humans are ready for this?" He looked at her and smiled. "We have no choice. We are always ready because we have to be. Facing fear is what makes us human." That is what the Awakener saw, and that is what the galaxy will see. For the first time, Alex felt the weight of being human in a galaxy full of beings who feared and hid. Humans survived because they looked at danger, because they faced it, because they did not give up. And now the Awakener had given humans a chance to show it. Somewhere deep inside, Alex knew this was only the beginning. The tests, the knowledge, the paths through the nebula, all of it would lead to something greater. Humans were no longer the ones warned. They were the ones who could lead, who could face the unknown, and who could teach others how to survive. The station slept, but Alex and Lily remained at the observation window, staring at the stars. The Awakener pulsed faintly in the distance, calm, silent, and alive. And Alex knew, deep in his heart, that humans had just stepped into a new chapter of their story. The galaxy had noticed, and humans were ready to answer its call after the encounter with the Awakener. Life on the station changed, but not in ways anyone expected. The aliens were cautious, still whispering among themselves, watching Alex and Lily closely. They were curious, some fearful, some admiring. Humans had never been part of the Council's plans like this. Now they had a voice, even if quiet, and it was impossible to ignore. Alex spent the morning in the engineering bay, checking systems, and listening to alarms. Everything seemed normal, but his mind was not on the machines. He kept thinking about the Awakener and the Council's reaction. The aliens had never seen a human face fear and still act with calm. They respected him, and through him, they began to see humans differently. Lily joined him, holding a tablet filled with observations from the Awakener's chamber. She had recorded hours of readings, energy fluctuations, and patterns that no one had ever noticed before. "Alex," she said, "look at this. The energy is changing again. It's like it's learning, adapting. I don't understand it, but it reacts to you differently from everyone else." Alex studied the data. The readings showed pulses, subtle shifts in gravity and light, and small fluctuations in the station systems. The patterns were complex, but he could feel a rhythm. It was almost like the Awakener was alive, not just a machine or object, but a presence aware and intelligent. "It's aware of me," he said slowly. "Not just aware, it's interacting." Grace Miller entered, carrying a tray of drinks. She set it down on the counter. "Alex, Lily, the council wants to see you again," she said. "They want to understand what happened and why the Awakener responded to you. They're unsure how to proceed." Alex nodded. "We should go. We can try to explain what we experienced, but I doubt they will understand fully. It's not something that can be explained with words alone." The council chamber was quiet when they arrived. The aliens waited, their bodies tense, their eyes sharp. Alex noticed that some were leaning back, unsure how to act around him now. The human presence had disrupted centuries of routine and fear. One of the elders, a tall alien with silver eyes, spoke first. "Human Alex Turner, you have faced the Awakener. Your presence changes it. Explain how you survived, how you endured its tests, and why it responded to you differently than it has to any other species." Alex took a deep breath. He wanted to be honest, but simple words were all he had. "I do not know why it chose me. I only know that humans survive by facing fear. We do not always succeed, but we look at danger and try to understand it. I think the Awakener recognized that. It tests intent, not strength. Humans, we act differently because we face the unknown, even when it is frightening." The council whispered among themselves. Some nodded slowly, others seemed confused. One elder with skin that shimmered like liquid gold asked, "Do you mean to say humans are fearless?" Alex shook his head. "Not fearless. Humans are afraid all the time. We feel it. We fail sometimes, but we do not hide from it. We act even with fear. That is why it responded to me." The aliens studied him, their expressions changing slowly from fear to curiosity, and for some to respect. They realized that humans did not simply avoid danger like other races. Humans faced it and learned from it. Ben Cole stepped forward. "Alex, the Awakener has unlocked knowledge that was hidden for centuries. Safe paths through the nebula, star charts, and information about other regions of space. The aliens here do not know it, but humans may be able to understand and use it. Can you help?" Alex hesitated. He had no training in alien star charts, and the information was complex. But he knew humans had something others did not: adaptability. "I can try," he said. "Humans learn quickly. If the Awakener has given us this, we can figure it out. But we must be careful. It is not just a tool. It is alive in some way. It will respond to intent, not commands." The council agreed, though not without hesitation. Some alien leaders were worried. Humans could not be controlled like other races. Their willingness to face the unknown was unpredictable. But that unpredictability was also what made them powerful. Alex felt the weight of responsibility. He was not just a human engineer anymore. He was a bridge between species, a witness to the Awakener, and possibly a guide to the galaxy. Over the next days, Alex and Lily worked with Amy Collins, the systems analyst, to study the Awakener's signals. They spent hours observing patterns, mapping pulses, and recording energy fluctuations. The data was complex, but slowly, Alex began to understand the rhythms. It was not like any machine humans had built. It responded to intention, focus, and honesty. If someone approached with fear or deception, it resisted. If someone approached with calm, courage, and curiosity, it shared knowledge. Lily watched Alex one evening, her eyes wide. "It's incredible," she said. "You're teaching us something no human or alien has ever known. The Awakener reacts to character, not power. It's alive in a way that defies science." Alex nodded. "It's testing all of us, but humans are the only ones who pass without trying to dominate it. We act naturally, with intent. We face fear, and it recognizes that." Grace Miller brought news from the med bay. "Alex, the crew is noticing changes. Sensors show that systems around you are stabilizing where previously they failed. It's like your presence is balancing things, not just with the Awakener, but the station itself." Alex frowned. He had not expected this. His presence could stabilize alien systems. The Awakener might be linking him to the station, using humans as conduits. It was not dangerous, but it was unusual. "We need to be careful," he said. "We cannot rush this. If the Awakener trusts humans, we must respect that trust. It is not ours to control." Over time, the aliens began to watch Alex differently. They followed him in corridors, whispered to each other, and consulted him for advice about the station. Some were still fearful, but most were curious. Humans had earned a new role. They were not just workers or visitors. They were observers, learners, and guides. One afternoon, Ben Cole approached Alex in the engineering bay. "I need you to meet the pilot, Luke Harris," he said. "He will take you to test some of the safe routes the Awakener has revealed." "The Council wants to see if humans can navigate where others fail." Alex nodded. He felt a mixture of excitement and caution. The Awakener had unlocked paths no one had dared to explore. Now humans would test them. He met Luke, a young pilot eager for adventure, and they reviewed the maps together. The routes were dangerous, full of unstable stars, magnetic storms, and gravitational anomalies. Most species avoided them. Humans were about to step into the unknown. Lily joined them, studying the patterns on her tablet. "Alex, the Awakener's influence is strongest when you are present," she said. "It's almost like it trusts humans to lead through danger. The aliens will watch, but humans will guide." Alex smiled faintly. "We will learn and we will teach. Humans have faced worse. The unknown is nothing new." That night the station rested, but Alex could not sleep. He walked the corridors, thinking about what was to come. Humans were no longer just part of the station. They were part of the galaxy's future. The Awakener had recognized their courage, their willingness to face fear, and their intent. It had given them a chance to act. He stopped at the observation window, staring at the Kairos Nebula. Colors shifted, storms moved like rivers of light. Somewhere out there were threats no one had seen, paths no one had traveled, and mysteries that had waited for centuries. Humans would face them. Humans would learn, humans would survive. Lily joined him quietly. "Alex, do you ever worry about what might happen next?" He shook his head. "Fear is part of it. We cannot ignore it, but humans do not hide from fear. We face it and we adapt. Whatever comes next, we will find a way." Grace Miller appeared with a small device. "Alex, the Awakener has responded to new signals. It seems to want more interaction. The Council is watching, but it will not interfere if you approach carefully." Alex studied the device. "We need to go slowly. Every move matters. We are learning from it, not commanding it." The next morning, Alex, Lily, and Luke prepared for the first test. The Council watched from a distance, whispers of anticipation and fear filling the chamber. Humans were about to step where no one else dared, guided by the Awakener, trusted in a way no other species had been. As the ship detached from the station, Alex felt a mixture of excitement and calm. The Awakener's pulse was faint in the back of his mind, a reminder of trust, of responsibility, of courage. Humans were not just passengers. They were leaders in the face of the unknown. The stars stretched before them, dark and beautiful. The unknown waited, full of danger and wonder. And Alex knew one thing clearly: humans were ready. Humans would face what others could not. Humans would survive. And humans would lead. The station was alive with energy. Aliens moved quickly through the halls, but their eyes kept drifting toward Alex Turner. He had become the focus of attention without trying. The Awakener had changed everything. Humans were no longer just participants in the station. They were guides, observers, and a source of new knowledge. Alex walked beside Lily and Grace Miller, heading to the observation deck. The Council had called another meeting, but this time they did not demand answers. They wanted to see humans in action, to witness the calm and courage that the Awakener had recognized. As they approached the chamber, Alex could feel the faint pulse of the Awakener again. It was quiet now, subtle, like a heartbeat just beneath the surface of awareness. The aliens in the room watched him carefully. Some whispered to each other, pointing, gesturing, and occasionally stepping back in awe. Alex felt their fear, their curiosity, their respect. It was a strange mixture, and he realized how different humans were from the other races here. Humans faced fear. They did not hide. They looked and they acted. Amy Collins, the systems analyst, was already at the chamber adjusting sensors. "Alex," she said, "the Awakener is reacting. The energy patterns are stronger than before. It's as if it expects you to lead the others." Alex nodded. "We must be careful," he said. "We are learning from it, not commanding it." Lily studied the readings on her tablet. "It's showing new paths, new possibilities. Some of them are dangerous. Some lead to resources, knowledge, or places no alien has ever visited. Humans may be the first to reach them safely." Grace stepped closer. "Alex, the Council is watching. They want to see if humans can influence others to act without fear. They are unsure what to do next." Alex took a deep breath. "We lead by example. Humans do not hide from what is unknown. We face it. The aliens will follow if they see it is safe." The Council observed from the chamber balcony. The elders whispered, their voices low. They had always believed that humans were fragile, impulsive, and reckless. Now they were beginning to understand something different. Humans had the ability to face fear, to adapt, and to guide others. That was what the Awakener had recognized. Ben Cole, the station commander, entered with Luke Harris, the young pilot. "We are ready for the first exploration," he said. "Humans will lead the way." The paths revealed by the Awakener must be tested. Alex and Luke approached the controls. Lily monitored the energy patterns from the Awakener. She noticed subtle changes in the pulses, almost like it was responding to their intent. Alex felt the calm assurance again, the quiet trust that the Awakener placed in humans. He reached out and adjusted the controls, setting a course through a nebula that had been marked as unstable and dangerous. The ship shuddered as the engines powered up. Alien technicians watched nervously. The nebula ahead was filled with magnetic storms, energy surges, and radiation zones that could destroy a ship instantly. Most species avoided it. Humans were about to enter it. Luke glanced at Alex. "Are you sure about this course?" he asked. Alex nodded. "The Awakener shows us the path. Stay calm and follow it. Humans survive by facing the unknown. We can do this." As the ship entered the nebula, instruments went wild. Energy spikes pulsed across the controls. Alarms rang. The aliens on board panicked, their voices rising. But Alex remained calm, guiding Luke and the crew with steady hands. He spoke clearly, giving instructions and reassurance. Humans had a strange effect on the aliens. They calmed them just by showing confidence and control. Lily monitored the Awakener's signals. "It's responding," she shouted. "The path is stabilizing because of Alex." The ship moved forward, weaving through storms, navigating magnetic anomalies, and avoiding deadly energy currents. The aliens were amazed. No species had ever entered this area safely. Humans were leading, showing that fear could be controlled, that danger could be faced without panicking. Hours passed. The ship emerged from the nebula into a calm region of space. The stars stretched endlessly before them, and the aliens looked at each other in disbelief. Humans had done what no other race could. The Awakener's influence had guided them, recognizing the human ability to act with courage and clarity. Back on the station, the council convened immediately. The elders discussed what they had witnessed. Some were shocked, some were relieved. One elder with skin like polished silver spoke first. "Humans are different. They face what we fear. They do not panic. They survive where we would fail." Another elder, golden-skinned, nodded slowly. "We underestimated them. They are not fragile. They are not reckless. They are capable in ways we cannot comprehend." Ben Cole stepped forward. "The humans have shown us something important. The Awakener has chosen them to lead, to explore, and to guide. This is a new beginning for the station and for the galaxy." Alex, Lily, and Grace were called before the council. Alex explained calmly, "Humans do not act without thought. We face fear and adapt. That is why the Awakener responded to us. It is not magic. It is understanding, trust, and intent. It is something every species has inside, but humans act differently. We face the unknown and we learn from it." The aliens were silent. They had never heard such honesty and clarity. It was simple, basic, but powerful. Humans did not pretend to be fearless. They admitted fear, but they acted anyway. That was what the Awakener recognized. Amy Collins spoke from her station. "The energy patterns are changing. The Awakener is sharing more knowledge now. It trusts humans to guide others. It is unlocking routes, resources, and safe zones that have been hidden for centuries. Humans can lead the next stage of exploration." Grace added, "We must respect this. It is not ours to control. It is a teacher and humans are learning from it." The council nodded slowly. The station had reached a new era. Humans were no longer just visitors. They were participants, leaders, and guides. The galaxy was beginning to notice them. Alex felt the weight of responsibility, but also a quiet pride. He was not special. He was human. Humans survived by facing danger, by acting with intent, and by learning from every experience. The Awakener had recognized that, and now the galaxy would see it too. The next weeks were filled with exploration. Humans led missions through the paths revealed by the Awakener. Luke piloted the ships, guided by Alex and the human crew. The aliens followed, watching carefully, learning from human actions. Every mission reinforced what the Council had realized. Humans faced fear differently, acted decisively, and survived where others would fail. Back on the station, Lily worked with Amy to analyze every new reading. She noticed subtle changes in the Awakener's pulses, slight adjustments that suggested it was responding not just to humans, but to the intention behind every action. Humans had the ability to act with clarity and focus, and the Awakener recognized it. Grace watched the human crew with amazement. "They are teaching the aliens without trying," she said. "Just by acting, humans are showing how to face danger calmly and effectively." Alex smiled quietly. He did not feel proud. He felt responsibility. The galaxy had entrusted humans with knowledge, trust, and paths that no other species had navigated. They had a role now, not just as survivors, but as leaders, guides, and examples. The aliens began to approach humans differently. They asked questions, sought advice, and occasionally deferred to human decisions in dangerous situations. Humans had not demanded respect or control. They had earned it simply by acting with courage, clarity, and honesty. One evening, as Alex and Lily looked out over the nebula from the observation deck, Alex said, "We are changing things. Humans are different, and the galaxy is noticing. The Awakener is showing us paths, but it is also showing the others what humans can do." Lily nodded. "Do you think they will accept it? Some aliens still fear humans." Alex shook his head. "Some will fear, some will follow. Humans do not control anyone. We only act. If others see it works, they will follow. That is how humans survive and now how they lead." The Awakener pulsed faintly in the distance, calm, silent, and alive. Alex could feel its trust, its quiet approval, and he knew it was ready for the next stage. Humans were no longer just warned about fear. They were the ones others looked to when it was time to face it. As the station lights dimmed for the night, Alex, Lily, and Grace prepared for another mission. The galaxy was full of unknowns, dangers, and wonders, but humans had a new role. They would face what others feared, guide the unprepared, and survive where others would fail. The Awakener had chosen them, and humans would not fail. The station was quieter than usual. The aliens moved with more caution and curiosity than fear. Humans had proven themselves, and the Awakener had shifted its influence. It was no longer just a test. It was a guide, and humans were learning from it. Alex Turner walked through the corridors with Lily and Grace Miller, feeling the quiet responsibility of what had been entrusted to them. Ben Cole approached them, looking serious but calm. "Alex, the Council wants a report. They want to know what humans have learned and how we can use this knowledge to guide the station safely through dangerous regions." Alex nodded. "We will tell them. Humans learn by acting, not just observing. The Awakener trusts us because we face fear, make choices, and adapt. The knowledge it shares is a gift, but it requires understanding and responsibility." The council gathered in the main chamber. The aliens were tense but attentive. Alex stepped forward, his calm presence contrasting with their uncertainty. He spoke simply and clearly. "The Awakener shows us paths through danger. It gives information, but it does not control us. Humans survive because we act with intent. We look at what others fear and we do not turn away. That is why it trusted us. That is why humans are different." The elders whispered among themselves. Some were still cautious, fearing humans' boldness. Others were impressed, realizing that humans could survive in ways no other species could. Amy Collins shared data from the missions. She showed maps, energy patterns, and safe routes through the nebula and other dangerous regions. The aliens were amazed. Areas they had avoided for centuries were now accessible, and humans were leading the way. Grace Miller spoke up. "Humans are not perfect. They make mistakes, but they act and they adapt. The Awakener recognizes that. It is a teacher, and humans are its students." The council listened carefully. For the first time, humans were not just observers. They were teachers in their own way, guiding others without demanding control. Their courage and clarity had changed the perception of humans across the station. Alex turned to Lily. "We need to continue exploring. The paths the Awakener shows us are not just for survival. They are opportunities. The galaxy has knowledge and resources that have been hidden for centuries. Humans can reach them safely, and others can follow if they learn from us." Lily nodded. "It's a huge responsibility. Not everyone will understand or accept it." Alex smiled faintly. "Fear will always exist, but humans face it. That is enough." The next mission was planned carefully. Alex, Luke Harris, and a small human crew prepared to navigate a series of dangerous routes that the Awakener had marked as possible but deadly for unprepared species. The aliens watched from observation points, ready to intervene if anything went wrong, but also learning from the humans' calm approach. As the ship launched, the Awakener pulsed faintly in the distance. Alex felt its trust again, quiet and steady. It guided them subtly, showing energy flows, hazards, and safe channels. Humans did not need instructions. They observed, adapted, and acted. The ship moved through magnetic storms, energy surges, and gravitational anomalies without hesitation. Aliens on board were amazed and sometimes fearful, but Alex's steady presence reassured them. Luke glanced at Alex. "You make it look easy." Alex shook his head. "We do not pretend there is no danger. We face it and we act. That is why the Awakener trusts us." Hours passed as the ship moved through regions that had been considered impossible. Humans and aliens worked together, guided by the Awakener's subtle influence. They discovered new resources, navigable routes, and previously unknown celestial phenomena. Every success reinforced the Council's understanding that humans were not just survivors, they were leaders. Back on the station, the Council convened again. The elders discussed the results. Some were still uneasy about humans' boldness. Others saw the truth. Humans were capable of acting with clarity, courage, and intent where other species failed. Humans could guide others safely through dangers they had feared for centuries. Ben Cole approached Alex and Lily. "The Council wants to formalize humans' role," he said. "They want humans to continue leading exploration, teaching other species how to act in dangerous regions. This is unprecedented." Alex nodded slowly. "Humans do not seek control. We act and learn. Others can follow if they choose. That is all we need." The Council agreed, realizing that humans' influence came from their actions, not their authority. Humans had gained respect not by demanding it, but by demonstrating courage and clarity in the face of fear. That evening, Alex walked through the observation deck, looking at the nebula. The stars stretched endlessly, beautiful and dangerous. Humans had proven themselves, and the galaxy had noticed. The Awakener pulsed faintly, almost like a heartbeat, calm and alive. It had chosen humans not because they were fearless, but because they faced fear and acted with intent. Lily joined him quietly. "Alex, do you think humans will be able to maintain this role? Some aliens may resist." Alex looked at her. "Fear exists everywhere. Humans cannot eliminate it, but we can face it. We can act with clarity, learn, and adapt. That is enough. Humans do not need to be feared or worshipped. We just need to survive and show others how it can be done." Grace Miller arrived with the latest data from the Awakener. "Alex, the readings are remarkable. It is sharing more knowledge now, subtly guiding humans to explore, survive, and teach. It recognizes humans' ability to act with courage and intent. The aliens are noticing, and they respect it." Alex nodded. "That is all we needed. Humans do not need to dominate. We just need to act rightly. Others will follow if they see it works." The next weeks were filled with missions. Humans led expeditions into areas previously considered too dangerous. Luke piloted the ships with skill, guided by Alex's calm leadership. Lily and Amy studied the patterns, analyzing energy flows and anticipating hazards. The aliens followed, learning from human actions, watching how humans faced danger without panicking. Back on the station, the Council began to accept humans fully. Whispers of fear were replaced with respect and admiration. Humans had not demanded authority. They had earned it through courage, honesty, and action. Alex reflected on what the Awakener had taught them. Humans were not invincible. They could fail, but they faced the unknown, learned, and adapted. That was their strength. That was what the Awakener had recognized. That was what the galaxy needed. Lily spoke softly one night. "Alex, do you ever worry what the Awakener might test next?" Alex shook his head. "We cannot worry about what might happen. Humans face what comes, act with intent, and learn. Fear exists, but it does not control us. That is what we have shown the galaxy." "That is what the Awakener recognized," Grace added. "Humans have changed the station. They have changed the Council. They are showing all species a new way to act in dangerous regions. The Awakener's influence is now a teaching tool, and humans are the first to learn its lessons." Alex looked at the stars. The galaxy was vast, full of unknown dangers and opportunities. Humans had proven themselves in ways no one had expected. They had faced fear, adapted, and survived. They had gained respect without demanding it, and they had earned a place as leaders, guides, and examples. The Awakener pulsed faintly, calm, alive. It had seen humans act without fear, with honesty, and with intent. It had shared knowledge, paths, and understanding. Humans were not the ones who needed warning anymore. They were the ones others looked to when it was time to face the unknown. Alex, Lily, Grace, and the human crew prepared for the next mission. The paths ahead were still dangerous. The nebula still held threats and unknown regions waited beyond. But humans were ready. They would face the unknown, guide others, and survive. The galaxy had noticed. Humans were no longer just visitors. They were participants, leaders, and examples. The Awakener had recognized them, and through them, the galaxy would see that courage, clarity, and intent were stronger than fear. As the ship left the station and entered the stars, Alex felt the quiet weight of responsibility. Humans had survived because they faced fear. Now they would lead because they acted rightly, calmly, and with purpose. The Awakener had shown them the way, and humans had accepted it. The stars stretched endlessly before them. Humans would face what others feared, guide those who hesitated, and survive where others would fail. The Awakener had not feared humans. It had feared a universe that did not recognize courage, clarity, and intent, and humans had shown it what they could do. The galaxy had changed, and humans were ready.